the Travel Like a Boss podcast, the radio show all about traveling like a boss by being your own boss. Stay tuned for weekly interviews featuring guests that have built their own online businesses. If you would like to have access to our entire back catalog, visit travellikeabosspodcast.com for instant access. And here's your host, Johnny FD.
Hey everyone, this is Johnny and welcome to episode 139 of the Travel Like a Boss podcast. Here with Tyler Moss. Somebody
doing good? I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah, so I'm excited. We are in Chiang Mai. Tyler is one of the 10 people.
Yes.
Lucky 10. I don't know if it's lucky or not, but
yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Part of the Dropship partnership.
Yep.
And you just made your first sale today.
Yeah, it's a big day. It's a big day. So we were actually sitting in the sorry about that. We were actually sitting in the partnership meeting there, kind of going over what everyone's been up to for the past week, and ended up getting the first sale right there on the phone. And
it was insane because all right, so we meet every a couple of days a week.
Yeah.
Usually around 11 o'clock, and we go over. Well, you know, let's actually talk about like the whole thing, how this all started. So where are you from? Why are you here?
Sure. So, well, I guess my history, my background is I'm from Michigan. I was born and raised and got a finance degree. After college, I joined the consulting world and worked in various banks in London, New York, and Singapore. Ran into your, I think I told you before, I was on Reddit or something like that. You commented on one of my posts, found your blog, and the rest, they say, is history from there. And once you put up that partnership thing, I was like, wow, this is the opportunity. I was planning on leaving my consulting job because I had started a couple dropshipping sites, and they were starting to do okay. And I felt like it was time to do it full time, take that next step, and then the partnership thing happened.
So before we get to all that, I thought it was crazy when you first told me, and I think it wasn't until the first day you were actually here, you told me that you had found me on Reddit, and I had thought that I had wasted my time on Reddit because I was answering people's dropshipping questions on there, because a lot of people on there had no idea what the F they were doing.
Yeah.
And I was one of
them.
and I was one of the very few people that actually had a successful store, and I was asking people those questions, but then people would try to rip me apart, and I was like, after a while I was like, you know what, fuck Reddit, like these guys, like, you know, all these people are on there hiding behind these anonymous names. Nobody's serious about actually, you know, starting a store. They just want, I don't know what they wanted. So I just gave up. I haven't logged on since. But the fact that you actually found me through that, you started a store, and then you're here, and you're a normal, cool guy, makes me think, how many other normal, cool people are there on there that, you know, maybe just kind of filter through the BS?
Oh no, I mean, it's crazy how it's crazy. Sorry, it's crazy how things work out sometimes, and you know, I don't even think it was a drop shipping post that you comment. I think it was something different, to be quite honest. I'd have to dig it out, but we ended up throwing a couple messages back and forth, and I'm like, wow, this guy's actually giving me answers where most people are like, hey, go to my website, buy my course, and pay me a bunch of money, and then you'll get your answers. Yeah, I was very interested because you were willing to answer pretty basic questions, but important questions for me. And that stuck with me. And, you know, I kind of kept up with your blog posts, and I never really took that next step because I did have a comfortable job. I did have a comfortable life, and it's hard to get away from that.
I understand. So where were you living at the time, and what were you doing for work?
I was in New York at the time, and I was working at a German bank, doing consulting for them, Deutsche Bank. And it kind of took me a little bit to kind of take that next step. I had started a store, but I was doing it while I was working, so it was kind of half-assed. I ended up going to London, so it kind of solved that travel itch that I have, and I was still content with the job and the money, and having this store be there. And I kind of hit the back burner for a while.
So why did you even start a store then if you had a cushy job that's letting you travel to like New York and London?
Well, that's the thing, right? I love traveling. It's a passion of mine. I love seeing new places. And I was fortunate enough to find a job that allowed me to do that in some really cool spots like London and Singapore and New York. But what I found out was that, you know, I was taking all these really cool weekend trips, but it just didn't satisfy it enough. You know, you work Monday through Friday, and then you have 2 days to jump on a flight, go see Athens, and then come back to London, and you're back at it. And I was actually in Singapore when I finally made the decision, and we were on a crazy project that we were working crazy hours or crazy deadlines, and the company ended up putting a travel ban, so we could not take holidays for the next 6 months. So we were working our asses off, and they said,
Why did they do a travel ban?
Because we were so far behind on the deadlines, and these deadlines were outrageous. It was kind of the reason why we won the project in the first place, is because we said we could deliver all of this in such a short amount of time, and it just wasn't realistic. So here we are, we're in the office at 8, we're not leaving till 10 at night, and then they come out and say, no, no holidays. You guys can't take any holidays. And I'm just like, first off, we're all looking at each other like, what the hell is going, like, this is ridiculous. And I'm like, that was the last straw for me, and
was it like a big dramatic moment, like on the spot? You're like, I'm walking out, I'm not doing this.
I wish it was a cooler story. I wish I threw my laptop out the window and had this really cool exit. But no, it was cordial. I told him that I needed to do this for me. It's a long time coming. It had been on my mind for quite some time, but like I said, you get comfortable in the lifestyle. You get comfortable with the money and the health insurance and the retirement plans, and it just makes sense from a financial standpoint.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And it sounds like you gave, I don't want to say gave the corporate shot a go, because it sounds like you're actually very successful in the corporate world. And
yes,
like most people, that's what they would strive to get to.
Yeah.
So it's almost kind of like a blessing that you got there, and then you realize, okay, there has to be more.
Yeah, and I'm a very goal-oriented person. I'm a very challenge-oriented person. So I don't know, maybe part of it was, I did this and I was successful at it, and I'm ready for the new challenge. And then on top of that, the biggest draw is location independence, financial independence. Those are the two things for me.
So can I ask, how long ago was this, and how old are you now?
I'm 28. I did consulting for about 7 years, and my last day on the job was September 30th.
So just a couple months ago.
A couple months ago.
Wow, man, I can't believe you're only 28.
I hope that means I'm aging well.
I thought you were like 40.
Oh, jeez.
No, but seriously, I thought you were like mid-30s. Like, you're very mature.
Thanks.
And you look old.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm 28 years young, and I'm out here.
Bit scruffy. Actually, all right. So, guys,
got lazy.
This is the first episode ever filmed on my new GoPro. I got the Hero Plus LCD for like $229.
Yep.
Can't figure out how to get it off of the extra wide mode, so hopefully it looks okay. But if you guys want to watch the video version of this podcast, go to my YouTube channel, YouTube/JohnnyFD, and it'll be on there.
Yep.
And you can see how old Tyler looks.
Yeah. Okay, actually, in hindsight, just listen to the radio version.
Yeah. There you go. So you were still working the job, and then you found me on Reddit. You started looking. You're looking at.
Yeah, I found you on Reddit.
Okay.
Well, prior to me putting in my notice a couple months ago, I had been following you for about 1.5 years, I guess, at this point. And then I hit that last straw, and I put in my notice, and that was on August 1st.
Were you already, did you already have a profitable dropshipping store at that time?
It was teetering unprofitable.
Okay.
It was teetering. It wasn't making much, if anything. There was a couple months where I lost.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
But this was like a side gig while you were working a corporate job. Okay.
Yes. And the thing is that on those late days, Monday through Friday, when we were working crazy hours, I always found an excuse not to get up early in the morning to work on it for a couple hours, or not to work on it late at night for a couple hours.
I guess you're comfortable, but you're also probably stressed and tired, right?
Fatigue definitely had a role to play, and after you're sitting in an office for whatever it is, 12, 14 hours, it's the last thing you want to do, really.
Yeah, I understand. So you put in your notice.
Yeah.
At that time, did you already apply for the partnership?
No, I hadn't. So I made this decision prior to even seeing the post about the partnership. So that happened. My notice went in on August 1st. I think you put out your post about the partnership mid-August, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm like, well, this is perfect, right? Like, this is exactly what I need, because here I am. I'm doing all the steps that I think are right, but to partner with Johnny FD and to be with someone that knows what he's doing, first off, tried and tested methods, it takes the guesswork out for me, because I can just go to you and say, hey, should I do it this way or should I do it this way? Both seem like good options to me, but a lot of times you've been able to just say, no, I'll do it this way. I've done it in the past. It works. and just takes the guesswork out for me, which has been a blessing and totally worth it.
And at the time, did you have any inclination to move to Thailand?
No, not necessarily. When I put in my notice, I was going to travel for the next 12, 24 months. So, I had enough in savings to do that and to do it comfortably. And the goal was to build my existing stores to a point where I could do it indefinitely. And, and then I ran across the partnership post and applied. And, got a call from you or got an email from you a couple of days later. And I was like, this turned out really well.
That sounds like perfect timing,
yeah,
like serendipity.
It was, I'm not a believer in fate or anything like that, but sometimes it makes you wonder, right?
But if I was a stripper, my name would be Destiny.
I don't know about that.
I like it. And now here we're sitting in front of a coffee shop in Chiang Mai. Weather is perfect.
Yep. I have no complaints.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm actually headed to Pai in a couple of days, and then off to the islands next week for a couple weeks before coming back for New Year's. So I'm in a happy place right now. This
But you know what the thing is? I can never tell. You're like a very stoic guy.
I get that a lot. I guess I don't exude my emotions.
Yeah.
Like
I've never got no hugs from you.
Yeah.
Never,
That's a family thing.
Yeah,
We don't
okay,
hug much.
all right.
Maybe a high five or
Okay.
pat
But
on the
you're
back.
happy.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. This is me happy.
Okay. Well, good.
Now
I
you
like
know.
it. Yeah. Now I know.
Just wait
That's
till you
cool.
see me mad.
Well, I hope not.
It's the same face.
Okay, so let's rewind. So you get here. First day of the partnership starts November 1st, which was how long ago was that?
Oh,
That was
man, it's
29 days ago.
Yeah,
That's
gosh.
it.
That's crazy.
29 days ago. And so tell me about that first day.
Yeah, I was nervous. I didn't know anything about you besides what I'd never met you in person, just through your blog. I never met the 10 others. So it's just a little bit of nervousness. Like these guys are all successful as well, and maybe they're smarter than me, and maybe I have something to add to the group as well. And we went around and introduced ourselves, and I'm not that nervous talking in front of people, but for some reason I was that first day. It's kind of just anxious feelings, and but the group is really great, very collaborative. I think we're all willing to share ideas and what's worked, what hasn't. And that's been great because you can leverage that on your existing sites and on the new ones that we're building. I think the partnership has turned out better than I expected and better than most expected.
Well, that's good because I had no idea how it was going to turn out. It's another one of those big gambles you take in life, right? And I was like, I'm pretty sure this will work. I'm pretty sure it'll be beneficial to both the partners involved as well as worthy use of my time.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure, it's all, life kind of works itself out if you have good intentions and you just set things forward. But I had no idea how many people were going to apply. I had no idea how many were actually going to show up. I had no idea how people would do.
Yeah.
And
out of curiosity,
Yeah.
how many did apply?
so, there's a couple hundred people who they inquired.
Yeah.
But how many people actually filled out the form and actually qualified and finished filling out the form? It was like 40.
Okay.
All right. And the reason why I did it on that way on purpose is because I didn't want to go through 200 applications. So I made sure that during the application process, people would self-select out. Like there were some questions where it was very clear that if you answered it, I don't say wrong, but if you chose what I have no experience with dropshipping, and then on the bottom it says you must have experience with dropshipping, like you would know, okay, don't even bother filling this out because you're not going to get selected.
Yeah.
So out of the 40 people, I watched everyone's videos. I gave everyone kind of like a fair chance, and I ended up just kind of selecting the first 10 people that qualified, that actually sent in like the video interview and everything. Turns out I miscounted and I actually invited 11 people over, but it worked out because one of the girls had some family issues and she went back home with her husband.
Right.
So now we have 10 and it's perfect.
Yeah. No. Like I said, the group has been great so far.
Yeah, I like it. And today, fast forward.
Yes. So, we got started on the first and kind of went through some basics to optimize our current sites, and then spent the better part of November selecting a new niche, building out the new sites.
Okay, so before we even get to that,
Yeah.
so the first day, the first couple of days was not just optimizing the sites, but automating the sites to
Yep.
try to eliminate as much work as possible so you'd have time to work on this one.
Yep.
How much time are you now spending on your current store, and how's that one doing?
It's actually doing a lot better this month. Just off, I've sat down with some of the guys that are absolutely killing AdWords, and I restructured all my AdWords campaigns, and they're super focused on driving relevant traffic, where before I was guessing and sending just crap traffic to my site. So that's been huge. And other than fulfilling orders, there hasn't been much work done on that site. There is, it's been designed and it's got all the necessary things for people to come and make sales. And right now, I'm just reaping the benefits of the AdWord campaign.
Nice, I like it.
It's good. It's good.
Do you know how many sales you made for that your main store this month?
I think I'm at about 10 sales, which is above average for that site. An average about 500 per order. So
it's about $5,000 worth of sales this month. Okay, cool.
And for that particular site, the margin hovers between 15 and 21%.
Okay, so about $1,000 in profit
This month, yep.
Oh, congrats, buddy.
Thank you.
And what did your cost of living here in Chiang Mai?
It's nothing. I haven't put it down on pencil and paper, but I spend about $150 on a house with two other guys, and I eat for less than $5 a day. So it's beautiful. The most expensive thing I get is a coffee, and I'm gonna get a coffee anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, right. And by expensive, it's still less than $3, which is less than it is back in the U.S.
85 baht, so
which is
$2.25.
Yeah, because we're in a nice coffee shop, nice garden, but
they're massive too.
Yeah, but you know what? Back home, what were you spending back home?
Well, so my 3 previous cities, Singapore, London, and New York, those are going to be 3 of the top 5 most expensive places. You're talking about just to go out and grab a salad for lunch, you're looking at $15, 15 US in all 3 of those cities. You're looking at a $10 beer if you want to go have one after work.
And what about rent?
Luckily, my company paid for rent, so I didn't have to worry about that. But friends paid in all those cities upwards of $2,000 a month. It's outrageous, and that was for a shoebox in those cities. That's nothing.
And so you and 2 other partners, gonna give them a shout out? Yeah.
So I'm living with Rob and Daniel, and we got a house just west of the canal over there in Chiang Mai, and it's worked out real well. I think the only regret we have is that we couldn't figure out they don't want to rent to us up until the end of January because burning season starts, and it's going to be too hard to find someone. So we have to actually get out in the next week and go find other accommodation. That's why I'm going to head out and travel for a bit. And the other guys found a couple single apartments that are month to month. And I'll have to find one too when I come back in January.
But I'm sure it was fun, hanging out with some of the other partners and living together in a house.
Oh, the house was great. And I actually had this really cool co-working spot. So we kind of all went to our own little coffee shops during the day. But we still had work to do when we got home, and we just sat around the coffee or the dinner table, and the Wi-Fi was good, so we got some work done, together.
And it was perfect because we were able to have Thanksgiving at your house.
Yeah, that turned out real well.
Yeah, so we got everyone together.
Yeah.
Everyone brought potluck. It actually turned out pretty good.
Yeah, it was one of my better meals here in Chiang Mai. The mashed potatoes, man, I can't believe how much I missed them.
Well, that's because we had a Polish guy bring it. So shout out to Mike.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, so fast forward. So the first week we kind of set everything up, optimized introductions. Second week we started going through niche selection. Yep. Did you think that it was going to be hard for 10 people to find unique niches?
I think originally, yeah. And I don't know, as I was going through it, the process myself, I came to the realization, because prior to that, I was like, man, I got to find the perfect niche. And I think that's a struggle that a lot of people go through, is that they need to find someone that no one else is doing. That's not the case. You look online and you just, I don't know, it just kind of clicked. I think you said it too. It's you buy and sell anything online. If you see it online, someone's making money from selling it. And there's no reason why we can't do that as well. And once I had that in my mind, it just, my list of potential niches just exploded. And I had, within an hour, I had 100 different things written down.
And it's crazy. Okay, so can you remember when you first got into dropshipping on your own and you were looking for niches? What was that process like? How long did that take?
Oh, it took days. It took days because what I would do is I'd find a product that I liked and be like, this is the one. And then I'd keep going through and looking for suppliers, and I'd find 2 or 3 other guys dropshipping. I'm like, oh man, it's already taken. Well, who cares? The only thing that competition tells me is that it's working. And now, once you get past that mental barrier, you're just select a niche, go for it, build out a site in a month, see if you can make a sale. If you don't, go to the next one. You're out whatever the Shopify costs. You're out $20.
Yeah. I like it. $29, or if you guys use my 20% off Shopify coupon, you can sign up for the mailing list and you will get that there. You'll get 20% off for life. So we all chose niches.
Yep.
And honestly, I was honestly kind of surprised how pretty easy it was, pretty smooth it was.
Yeah.
Because not only do we have to find 10 new niches, but we had to make sure none of those 10 competed with anyone's existing store or new stores.
Yeah, I think we only had 1 or 2 overlapping, and everyone had backups, so it didn't matter. Like they're like, okay, throw that one out. It was very civil.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah. I think part of it was because of the kind of the mentality I kind of instilled and talked about before, but then also the fact that everyone's done it before, so their minds are open. They're like, okay, I know I thought my niche sucked and it was fine, so I'm sure there's other ones that I think are going to suck are going to be fine.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I had a list of about 100, and I narrowed it down to 5 that I really liked, and I had a hard time choosing from those 5. And I can't wait to free up some more time and automate this current store so I can go tackle these other niches later on next year.
I like it.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So
there's plenty of niches out there to jump into.
We chose niches, got the demo stores up, and then it was time to call suppliers. Did you get butterflies again? I'm assuming, because I know I always get butterflies when I call. So was it different though this time than it was the first time when you did it on your own?
No, I was nervous both times for whatever reason, and it's kind of crazy because I've been in meetings in the corporate world. I've presented reports and everything else to higher ups, and for some reason I get nervous calling suppliers on the phone. They don't even see me, and I get nervous. And that's for the first one, and then I got approved for the first one. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm a salesman. Like, got on the phone with the next one, boom, approved. Got on the phone with the next one, boom, approved. Got on the phone with the next one. He said he needed a $15,000 initial inventory investment. I said, no, that's not how we're going to do it. Like,
listen up. This is how we're going to do it. I like it. But you know what? That's that awesome confidence because you got the ball rolling. You're like, you know what? I know that we are a legit e-commerce company and we're going to sell a lot of their products. There's no reason why they are not going to approve us.
No, and that's, I even go as far as to say that sometimes when they're on the fence. I'm like, look, we've been doing this for a long time, and we know what we're doing. We have beautiful looking websites. Go check it out. Like we're gonna throw you sales. There's no reason not to do this. We're gonna be a hands-off drop shipper for you. We're gonna send you orders, and we're gonna take care of all the customer service. And let's do it.
Let's do it. So you got your suppliers on board, and that wasn't even that long ago. That was like a week ago.
Yeah. Well, what was it? 18, 19 days ago, maybe.
So today was our first meeting after Thanksgiving. This weekend went camping, kind of got out of the city, left my phone and everything at home, and didn't really talk to any of you guys the last couple of days because I'd just been gone.
Yeah.
And I was kind of hoping, honestly, that I can walk in and then start, basically congratulating people on, having at least one person make their first sale.
Yeah.
And it's not that I was disappointed, but I was a bit shocked, actually, that when I walked in, nobody had made a sale yet. To be fair, Robert actually did make one, but it was for like a small accessory item, so it didn't count. But we still give him kind of half credit. We should give him a high 4 or something.
That's true. That's true. And you changed the rules after that to up it to 300 because I actually made a sale yesterday, but I didn't tell anyone because it was for only $283. And it didn't meet the threshold, so I kept that one to myself. But
that's cool that it went through, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that first one was profitable?
Yeah, absolutely. This particular brand has a 50% margin.
That's insane.
So
nice.
they didn't even add any shipping to the order yesterday. There will be shipping on the order today, but still I think it's gonna look at
so 2 sales now,
30% margin. Yeah.
Congrats, buddy. Good job.
Absolutely.
So this all happened during the first 10 minutes of the meeting. I was sitting there, and I was going over today's topic. I can't even remember what it was anymore. I was so excited. I think it was.
To be honest, I wasn't paying attention because I just had read the email, and I'm like, "Oh, it happened."
I think I was
so excited.
I think like the topic was something about conversions or ads or whatever it was, and then you were like, "Sorry to interrupt. I just got a sale." Yeah. And how much was the sale for?
It's for $1,650 some.
That's crazy. $1,600 while we're sitting there having a meeting about how to make sales.
Yep. and 50% margin, and then we got to throw in it'll have to be shipped, and they quoted me at like $100.
That's crazy.
And we're looking at a good margin on that.
So we just made like what, $700?
Yeah.
Good job, buddy. Congrats. So if you guys aren't aware of how this partnership works, I announced it on my blog a few months ago. You can probably dig it up somewhere. But basically, I invited 10 people who already had successful dropshipping stores, or at least had somewhat successful stores, to come out to Chiang Mai and do this partnership program. I was going to take 25% ownership, and these guys kept 75 themselves. But they pretty much did. You did all the work. It's not like I logged in and I wasn't the one picking the phone. I wasn't the one uploading anything. So how was I involved? Kind of like,
so you backed it as the one man advisory board, that you'd find in a traditional company, kind of the final say, and then leading us through the process. Let's do this first. Let's do this second, and then we'll go from there. And again, I've already touched on it before. I've come to you many times just outside of the meetings and been like, Johnny, A or B? And you've been A, B, A, B. So I mean, as far as your role, it's been hands off from building the site, but it's been absolutely key for me because it's taken all the guesswork out. I've said that multiple times already, but I've been able to. This is probably one of the fastest sites I've built, and I've built a lot of sites, but I've got up and running and got the AdWords ready to go in less than 2 days.
So normally one of these sites take about 2 months to get up and running and get you for sale. We've done it now in 29 days. That's
yep.
And do you think that you would have done that if you were just kind of doing it on your own?
No. I for two reasons. One, it would have been a constant guesswork, and I would have spent days on the niche selection. I would have spent days perfecting the site. And your whole thing when we were building sites, guys, just get it up, get the damn thing up, so we can start calling suppliers right away. And I would have struggled. Maybe I should change the color of this or add a button here. Like,
well, the funny thing is, there was a few that was like, you need to change that freaking color because it's ugly as crap. But in general, doing a quick overlook of the sites, I'm like, okay, what is the MVP? What do we really need to move forward? So I liked it. So it's been a month. You got your sale, and then literally as we were talking about it, I wish we would have filmed this. I wish we would have filmed this because it was almost unbelievable. It almost seemed scripted. But Sebastian, our German guy, he was like, I don't know his accent, but like, Zupa!
Roast.
Yeah. And he was like, guys, you won't believe this. I got to sale.
That's not bad. Yeah. Yeah, he kind of just interrupted, and rightfully so. And he's like, hey, here's sale number 2. And that was great. It was kind of, speaking with Robert and Dan just at our place, everyone's kind of like, well, I thought we'd have a sale already, between at least the 10 of us. And I was like, it'll come. I tried to, but in the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, me too. I thought we'd have a sale. So it was good to have that reformation, especially at the meeting, in person. It's like, I think everyone kind of got a little jacked up off it and is ready to go.
I think people are pumped right now.
I mean, it works.
Yeah.
And we all knew it worked, but we've done it in 29 days now.
And also I think with a new store, you're always a little bit unsure. You're like, what if this one doesn't work, right?
I've had stores that failed, and I don't know. I think a lot of people have as well. Sometimes it just doesn't work out, but if you stick to the plan, you lay out a plan, you stick to the plan, good things happen.
I like it. So the other reason why I think people are going to be jacked up now or excited to get there for sale is I did a little contest between the partners. The first 3 people to make a sale over $300 gets 1,000 baht cash.
Yep.
And I know, it's not a ton of money. It's like $30, but did it feel good to be handed cash for a sale?
Oh, absolutely. Every time you win a bet with some of your friends, it's always it's a competition, and competition drives us all. So it could have been for $1 for all I cared. I was still going to go after it.
I like it. So there's still another contest that I'm having with the guys and the gal. First person to get to $1,000 profit for their store gets 3,000 baht, which is like $100.
Yeah.
So are you aiming for that now?
Oh, absolutely.
Are you going to get that?
I've been aiming at it since the sale came through the door this morning.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah. I think we're almost there. I've been looking at the AdWords campaign, and I've also been looking at how people are moving on the site, and everything is pointing in a good direction. I mean, we got a $1,600 sale off 30 people. That is a profitable conversion. That is a very profitable conversion. So you need to figure out why they bought, and then duplicate that.
Yep.
And then duplicate that.
I like it.
Yeah.
So glad you're on board.
Yeah.
Congrats on the
Glad
sale.
I'm here.
And so what are your thoughts about kind of like the long-term plan of this for us to run this for 12 months and then sell it?
Yeah, I've thought about it, and I think, depending on how the next 6 months go, I might be interested in taking it over myself and skipping the whole sale process and buying it.
Buy me out? Okay.
Yeah. I think, as long as you're up for that.
Yeah, give me 27X and I'm happy, right?
Absolutely. So, I've thought about both ways, and I think they're both beneficial, and I plan on making more sites next year. I plan on trying to get some of my family members involved and maybe doing a similar beta partnership with them, just to get that, because they're always asking me what I'm doing, and I'd like to show them. I really would. Plus, it's always nice to have someone to travel with you, so because they're stuck in the job that I was stuck in prior.
So that is the reason why when I first got my first sales, I think this was like 3 years ago, I went back to LA, I think it was for like Thanksgiving or Christmas, and I tried to convince all my friends, a couple of my family members, like, you guys should do this, because I wanted someone to travel with.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited that my best friend Chris just arrived in Chiang Mai again yesterday.
Cool.
And he has his store, which is freaking destroying the worlds.
Oh, that's awesome.
So as soon as he sells that, he's gonna be big ballin'.
Good man.
Yeah. So for like, I guess people listening at home, what do you recommend for people to get started if they wanted to do this?
Trial by fire. I mean, you can read as many blog posts, you can read as many articles, you can take as many classes as there are available. But if you don't start getting something tangible out in front of you, if you don't start calling suppliers, and if you don't start running ads and trying to get real sales, you'll never know if it's going to work. You can have a million ideas, you can have a million different products you want to sell, but without actually going through the steps and trying to sell them, you're never going to know if it's going to be successful.
I like it. So when you learn all this, did you join Anton's course? Or were you the one that wasn't part of it?
Yes, I am part of it.
Okay.
And it's been huge, right? Because it lays out a system that worked. It's not perfect. I don't think anyone would sit here and say it is. But it gives you the information to get started. And from there, you can learn on top of that. And join a mastermind group is kind of what this partnership is. There's plenty of mastermind groups out there, and just collaborate, because I've learned so much in just this last 29 days that has helped me that no course can really teach you, because people are figuring things out on their own. This works, this doesn't.
Yeah, I do like that. I think what I like about the masterminds that people put together, like within the course members, is that everyone there at least has like the base foundation of knowledge. I honestly think it's probably a terrible idea if a bunch of people who have no idea what they're doing got together to do a mastermind.
Yes, yeah. No, absolutely. Because, you need to have, members in the group that have stores that are making sales. Not necessarily profitable, but making sales and on the cusp of profitable.
Yeah, because, so when I announced the partnership, I didn't make it a requirement for everyone to be part of Anton's course. I don't want to exclude anyone. But I did ask it as a question to first kind of like, I figured if someone was kind of like on the cusp, where they weren't that profitable yet, or like they weren't like a superstar yet. Yeah. But I'm like, okay, that's like tipping point. I'm like, okay, if they're part of the course, I'll give them a little bit more like weight, because I know they probably, kind of know what they're doing. They're probably a little more dedicated because they spent the money on it.
Yeah. And it's a lot of money. But the way I justify it is, hell, I spent 4 years at a university, and I paid thousands of dollars for classes that I haven't. So the hell's another chunk of change for a class that I will use. So
even though I didn't make it a requirement, 9 out of 10 of the partners are part of Anton's course.
Yeah.
I think the only one who isn't is it Preston? Or I don't remember.
I think Preston is. I've seen him on
no, not Preston. It was
Dylan. Maybe.
Dylan. It's Dylan.
Yeah.
And it's because his last job was like for this giant e-commerce company.
Yeah, he's got a ton of experience.
So,
and he's killing it right now.
Yeah.
with his store.
So the reason why he's part of the partnership is because he had a profitable store and he had the experience from his commerce store. Yep. So I don't think you have to be part of Anton's course to be successful with dropshipping, and I didn't make it a requirement to be part of this partnership. But the fact that 9 out of 10 people who made it in the partnership or who had successful stores were part of it, it kind of shows like your odds are much better
Yeah.
if you've had like some proper training.
Yep. Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, because we've all, having gone through the course, we all had the same blueprint in our head. So we all had the basic understanding down. We all knew the basic steps to get something started.
And not even just like how to get started or what to do, but why. I think that's actually honestly the more important part of it.
No, that's a great point.
And I think like a lot of the I don't want to say like the meetings that we have here, it's not really necessarily about what to do next, but like the why we're doing it.
Yep.
And I think that is kind of like the key component that a lot of people don't understand is why we do something. Because when you understand the why, it just works a million times better.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You can't just start making changes blindly without a reason or without having an idea what the possible outcome will be.
Yep, I like it. So, you enjoying Chiang Mai?
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's been great. Prior to my last day was September 30th, and then the partnership wasn't starting until November. So I went up through Cambodia, then I went up through Laos, and then found my way here to Chiang Mai. Been here for the last month, and gonna go see the islands here in a week, and then I'll be off to Burma for a couple of days, and then back in Chiang Mai. I mean, it doesn't get better than this.
That's crazy. So, what do your friends back home think?
Well, first off, they thought I was an absolute insane person for leaving the cushy consulting job, and here I was, a 28-year-old, and making a good chunk of change, and
over 6 figures, I'm assuming.
Yep, and plus, the company paid for my rent, they paid for my meals, they paid for transportation, gave me 4 flights home each year.
That's crazy. That's like 50 grand in perks.
It was. That's what It was an extra. It was like getting an extra 50,000 overnight when they sent me overseas. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was very cool, and I enjoyed the time, but I just got burnt out. And now friends and family, it's funny because I have a small travel blog. It was just I did it when I moved over to London to keep friends and family up to date of all my weekend travels, basically. And then I wrote a post when I left the job explaining, here's my backstory, here's why I did it, and the reception was great. It's like I was kind of nervous sending it out there. It's kind of my life on a piece of paper, and a lot of support. I was very surprised, just because people are like, "Oh, I'm living vicariously through you. This is great. Way to follow your dreams," and that's what I'm doing. And it's cheesy as it sounds, but I just want to travel, man, and I want to get out there and see it, and I want to be able to go home, because when I was consulting, I was stuck in the cities, and my family's not from the city. We're from a small town in Michigan, and you can't get consulting jobs there. And I want to be able to go home. I want to be able to see my nephews, my mom and dad and grandparents. And I'm hoping this gives me the opportunity to do that.
I can see that, because the thing is, you don't need to make 200 grand a year to live in a small town in Michigan.
No, absolutely not.
If you can do this online from the Starbucks, in town or in the kitchen table, you can make, a couple grand a month and have all the time in the world to spend with your family.
Yep. And it's like a broken record, and it's not a story that you haven't heard before, but when I went through college or when I was growing up, I wanted to make a lot of money. I think a lot of people do want to do that, and I was making a good chunk of change. I wasn't a millionaire by any means, but I was comfortable. But then your priorities change, and your outlook changes, and the needs to, have that lifestyle that gives you the independence. It doesn't require the money that you once needed to maintain a city lifestyle.
I've heard this so many times. I know like Tim Ferriss wrote about it, but do you think that like people really believe that until they come out of here and they experience this?
Which part?
Like money not being the end all be all, I guess.
I think deep down inside, most people want to make some money.
Yeah,
I think that's true. But I've thought about it, and if you told me, Tyler, you're gonna make $1,500 for the rest of your life, but you can be anywhere in the world doing it, would you take that over making 10 grand? And the answer is yes, every single time.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I like it. Well, you're gonna be making a lot more than $1,500 a month.
That's the goal.
I like it. We'll celebrate it again when that happens. Keep up those good sales, man. I'm excited for this.
Planning on it.
Yeah. So big shout out to everyone who is part of the partnership, and to everyone following at home, especially everyone who's part of Anton's course, but everyone just, regardless of what you're doing, like, I don't even care if you guys are doing dropshipping, if you guys are doing FBA, if you're doing Kindle publishing, if you're doing pretty much any kind of online business. I want you guys to know that it's a nice community here.
Yeah.
Welcome to always come out to Chiang Mai. We have meetups every Friday.
That's been great.
Yeah, weather's been great here. Lots to do.
Yep.
And make it happen. All right.
Yeah. No. You gotta take the first step. That's the hardest step to take too. It really is. I've done it, and it's a scary feeling leaving the comfort that you're used to.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
But you comfortable here?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So just real quick, what is your favorite thing about being here in Chiang Mai?
Oh man, that's a good question. I like all the weekend trips that I'm able to take. There's a lot of places around Chiang Mai that you can go to.
What have you done so far?
I've went down to, I'm going to screw these names up so bad, but Doi Inthanon.
That's the highest point in Thailand. Yep. Okay. Nice
I've done
mountain.
the Sticky Waterfalls.
Which is what?
It's like a limestone waterfall, but you can climb up them because they are super adhesive.
Yeah. So it's like you're Spider-Man climbing up a waterfall with water running down. It's crazy.
You just walk straight up them.
Okay.
They're actually really cool. And that's an easy day trip to take. I've gone up to Chiang Mai, and that's all right. And then I'm going to do Pai this weekend.
Nice.
And then the other thing is the people that are around here. You're surrounded by a ton of like-minded individuals. We're all here kind of doing not necessarily the same thing, but we're all living the same lifestyle. And everyone's very approachable. It's easy to strike up a conversation, make a new friend, find someone to go on a day trip with you, or find someone to go out for the night with you. It's a great little town. It's a great little community.
Yeah. I like it as well. And my favorite thing, besides everything you just mentioned, especially like being able to go out in nature on the weekends.
Yeah.
So every weekend, I have this new thing where I try not to sleep at home every weekend. I try to either go camping or go to a neighboring town or something. So this weekend was camping. The weekend before was in Pai, which is this nice little hippie village. I was sleeping in this little bamboo teepee doing acro yoga. Before that, we went cliff jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about that. That was good. That was fun.
That was fun, right? All this cool stuff. And then now we're back in the city during the week to just work and crush it. And every Friday we have a coffee meetup with 80 plus
there's a ton of
people
there.
and all different levels. There are people who are just starting out, and there's people just crushing it. Actually, I don't think I've told anyone about this. It's kind of I don't want to say secret, but it wasn't like a public thing yet. I started something called 6-Figure Sushi, where everyone that I meet or I know that makes more than 6 figures online, we go out to sushi like a couple times a month. And we're going to do it a couple times a month. Last time was the first meeting.
Yeah.
And the goal, the idea is basically like I invite everyone I know that's making 6 figures online. Then they invite everyone they know who's making 6 figures.
It's getting big.
And last time we had like 9 people.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was like, a lot of people don't realize that in Chiang Mai, there's people destroying worlds.
Yeah.
There was like one couple that were making like 400 plus grand a year.
That's crazy.
And it's like, fuck, There's another girl there. I don't know what she was making. It was definitely over 6 figures, but she said it's completely passive for her now. And it's like...
It's awesome.
It's
That's
amazing.
the dream.
Yeah. It's not even a dream. We're making it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want everyone listening to this, on your phone, on your Huawei, your iPhone, or watching this on YouTube. I want you guys to figure out what your dreams are. Go out, make it happen. If they want to keep in touch with you, follow your blog, how can they reach you?
Yeah, it's lifeofthai.com. So the 3 words, and then they're split out with a dash. So life
I can't
of Thai.
I can't believe a dash is in your URL.
And the original was taken, so I had to go with it.
No worries. So we'll put that link and everything else we talked about.
I'm gonna change the link now.
Yeah, good. We'll put that and everything else in the show notes of this episode. Go and tap into it. If you want to follow along kind of the journey and know if another partnership opens up, I don't know if we're gonna do it again next year because it's a lot of work, to be honest. Yeah. Like may seem like I'm just chilling, but it's a lot of work. Manage. It's like chasing cats.
Yeah, I get it, man. I get it.
So yeah, if that happens again, I'll send it out to my list, johnnyft.com. And I think that's about it. So thanks everyone for leaving all the great 5-star reviews on iTunes. This is how the word gets spread. More people hear about this podcast. More people hear about Chiang Mai. More people hear about location independence, about all this cool stuff. So thank you guys for taking the time to do that. Any final words?
No. I'm just thanks for having me. I'm glad to be on here. I'm glad to have that first sale. I'm charged up again. I'm ready to go after it, and got 3 days left in the work week, and hopefully get a couple more sales.
More to come.
Yep.
See you guys. Thank you for listening to the Travel Like a Boss podcast. If you want to hear more, including the bonus How to Choose the Perfect Niche episode, join our mailing list at travellikeabosspodcast.com. See you next week, and remember, if you want to travel like a boss, you need to be your own boss. So start your online business today and start living the lifestyle you've always dreamed of.